Hey, fiber friends. It is Wednesday, April the 17th. Welcome to the For Knit's Sakes channel. My name is Allison, and I'm coming to you from El Paso, Texas, where currently it is raining. I had really good lighting until about 5 minutes ago, and then the clouds came in, and now it's raining, and we have a wind advisory until bedtime tonight, so it's going to be a very eventful weather day today in El Paso. Like I said, my name's Allison, coming to you from El Paso, Texas. I live with my husband and my two kiddos, as well as our fur baby, Lucy. She's a 9-year-old Boston Terrier. It's been quite a while since I've seen you guys, since March 27th, so it's been almost a month. I had full plans to podcast earlier, but kids get sick, and my youngest little minion had the oddest GI bug that lasted for 4 days. He was finally feeling better today, so I sent him to school, but he was home Friday, Monday, and Tuesday because I didn't want to potentially spread a GI bug to the class, so I kept him at home. But I can talk about that a little bit later. We're here to talk about knitting. I have some knitting, no crochet, a little bit of sewing, and I will try to keep it short. I never make any promises on things being fluid in this on this channel, so I will try my best, and I apologize for the lighting, but it is what it is. So we are going to hop right in. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Ravelry, my username is For Knit's Sakes. We also have a podcast group on Ravelry where you can find out about any knit-alongs, or if you want to know episode show notes, you can either look in the description box below, or you can go onto the group on Ravelry to see links to projects or anything that I happen to chat about, tutorials, or anything extra that I might throw in sometimes if you're ever interested. So we have a knit along going on. It is the For Knit's Sakes Stash Bust knit along. I'll put the hashtag down below if you would like to use it. You can make anything as long as that yarn has been in your stash before January 1st of this year. I chose a winner last episode for the first 3 months. It's a year-long knit along, crochet along, make along. I chose somebody and they picked their pattern of choice and I sent it to them. I'll probably choose somebody else in about another 3 months, about the time that we're going to be moving. So we will no longer be El Paso residents. Starting this summer, we will be moving to Columbus, Georgia. So if I have any watchers or fiber friends that are in Georgia, hit me up. We'll be there probably June, July, getting settled, and I'll be looking for a job, but I can talk about that a little bit later. We're here to talk about knitting, and I have quite a few finished objects for sewing and a few finished objects for knitting to show you guys. Let me pull my show notes over so I don't lose track of what I'm talking about, because that happens quite a lot. Take a deep breath. I've been with kids since Friday. I haven't gotten my time in the morning by myself for quite a number of days, so it feels kind of strange to be at home now by myself. So my brain's kind of all jumbled up. I hear a poor dog barking outside. It's a dog that a lot of times the owners leave outside and it barks all day long, and now it's outside stuck in the wind and the rain. How sad is that? So we're going to start with sewing finished objects because I got the sewing bug and I sewed quite a lot of things recently. Oh, but I don't have one over here, and it was a tote bag, but it's on my Instagram if you want to see it. So I picked up a bunch of, hey, that's where my pin went. Found it. Hooray. I picked up some fat quarters when I was at Walmart last week picking up some stuff with Oliver. He had to get some blood work done, and in order to get the blood work finished, I told him that he could pick out a gift at Walmart. So I also stopped by the fabric part of the store, and I found some Star Wars fat quarters to make some gift sacks. We're trying not to use wrapping paper in this house. So as I find fabrics that I like that aren't too expensive, I'll purchase them and make really simple. I just sew a rectangle. I usually don't even use a liner. This isn't a gift sack. This is a project bag. And then fold over the top and then just hem around the top just so it doesn't fray. So I found a whole bunch of fat quarters that were Star Wars themed. And I found this really pretty rose fabric that I really wanted to make into, some project bags. So this was one of them that I made. This is just like a little sock sack to fit one little ball of yarn and a sock project. And I have these cam snaps. I have the little pliers that you use to squish the cam snaps in. And then I just had some little pinstripe, also a fat quarter bundle that I picked up. And then just made this so it could be something I could either toss in my purse or keep on my little side table by where I watch TV and sit and knit a lot. And then I did make a project bag and a little zippered pouch so I wouldn't waste any of the fabric. So let me tell you about this one really quick. So it looks nice and appropriately sized for maybe some 2 at a time socks or a good sock project bag. But when I first made it, I wanted to use a lot of the fabric. And this is what my project bag came out to look like first. Who needs a bag this long to hold their stuff? Certainly not me. So in order to fix that, what I did was I took my cam snaps and I added one here so I could fold over the bag. Now my stuff's not going to fall out if I shove it into a purse. And then I also added some snaps to close up the bag and a little handle so I could clip it to my bag or hold it on my arm. And then on the inside, again, some more fat quarter bundles that were on sale for like a bundle of 5 for $4. So I got some of this like bluish green fabric. It's really kind of blowing out on the thing. It looks almost white on the camera, but it is not. It is a teal aquamarine. So the top part is like plans for the different Star Wars ships, so the TIE fighters, no X-Wing, but I just thought it was cute. And then the blue matches with the rose fabric on the bottom. And then for this bag, I used the roses on the outside. And then the inside is the Star Wars fabric. So cute little project bags. I also, because Oliver was sick, I got more sewing done yesterday. And I made him. I bought this fabric from the Remnants bin in Joann a really long time ago. And this is the free Patterns for Pirates PJ pants for little kids. So I traced a little bit bigger than the size 5 because I didn't want to cut out a whole new pattern for the size 6. So I made them a little bit bigger. And then it has this really nice fold over waist. I put the little ribbon in there so he knows which side is the back because he's put on a couple pairs backwards. They are cut so they leave a little bit of room for the tush to fit in. So the back sits a little bit higher than the front. And then I didn't quite make them full length pants. They're kind of like long board shorts, but it's this minion fabric with the beado, beado, beado from the second movie when Gru lit his phone on fire. If you've seen that movie, he really likes them. He warmed to bed last night, which is why they're all wrinkled. And then I didn't hem the bottom because I wanted to see how long they were first. And then I'll probably just fold it up, sew around, and be done with it. So I've gotten a lot of sewing done. I also did a tote bag, which is holding my corner to corner crochet granny blanket, corner to corner crochet blanket. And I left it over there. I can see it, but it's on my Instagram if you want to see a picture of it. And it was just a simple tote bag. I made some really thick short handles for it so I could just kind of throw it on my arm. And it holds that blanket perfectly with my magic cakes sitting down in the bottom. Now I am on to knitting finished objects. I do not have one of them with me. I did finish my Game of Thrones socks, and I can show you guys a picture of it on my phone. I know it's not great, but I had a friend leaving for Alaska today, and I had planned a podcast yesterday before I gave them to her. But then Oliver ended up staying home from school, so it didn't work out. And I had to give them to her yesterday because she left today. They're starting their 3-week road trip to get up to Alaska. We were supposed to follow them and be stationed at the same spot. But if you guys watched maybe an episode or 2 ago, we got denied via the Exceptional Family Members Program. So we couldn't go to Alaska because they couldn't accommodate our specialist needs. But she had given us a card to Dave & Buster's because we went for Levi's birthday this weekend, and there was, about $30 worth of game time on there. And I don't remember how many tickets there were to spend in the store. So you could redeem your tickets to get, stuffed animals or other things that they had in their little store. And I figured I wanted to give her something that she could take to Alaska with her to remember me by, but I didn't really have a shawl or a cowl or anything that I thought she would like. And she had mentioned when I went to go see her, let me fix my necklace, on Sunday, that she really wanted a pair of hand knit socks. And I have plenty of hand knit socks, and she happens to have the same size foot as I do. I had just finished my Game of Thrones colorway socks by Knit Picks Felici, the Beyond the Wall colorway. And I had made them a little big, so I knew maybe I wasn't going to wear them very often, so I thought I would give them to her. I did take a picture. This is the same picture that's on my Instagram. It's kind of hard. There we go. So this is the Beyond the Wall colorway by Knit Picks Felici. I did make them so that they would match. The toe is done in Knit Pick Stroll Brights, whatever the blue colorway is. There's only one. So I did these on US size 0, 64 stitches. And when the color changed, I would knit one, slip one along the front side of the sock. And so they turned out really great. But like I said, I think I made them a little bit too big. I probably could have done 60 stitches instead of 64. So I gave her those socks, as well as I gave her one of my DK weight boot socks, the ones with the pink or the coral fingering weight, and then the Tofutsi's gradient color. So I figured I could give her a heavyweight pair of socks and then a lighter weight pair of socks. So those went to her, and she is very thankful for them. She loves them, and she will be wearing them to Alaska. But the Game of Thrones socks were my first finished object. And then I also finished my Martine hat. I don't know if I had cast this on the last time. I don't think so. So this is the Martine hat. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. It is very easy to knit. It kind of knits itself just because the pattern is really easy to remember. And, you know, the only part I had to pay attention to the pattern was on the decreases for the crown. And then you're not even doing a whole lot of decreases because you end with 30 stitches and then you pull it tight. I do kind of have a hole there. I probably could have pulled it a little bit more snug. But it's meant to be a slouchy hat, which works great for, you know, this in-between weather that we're having right now. And I knit this with an Evil Little Goat colorway. I do not think she is dyeing anymore. I've been watching the Naughty Knitwits, and they've been mentioning that, you know, she kind of fell off social media. They haven't seen her posting a whole lot. So I don't know if Evil Little Goat is dyeing anymore, but I got this in like a 3-pack Christmas of 2017. She was doing, you know, you just buy a 3-pack, you don't get to choose your colors. She sends you this 3-pack and it was like $60 or something. So this was one of the colors, and it was a B-side colorway, which I learned later on that B-side were like the tracks that don't quite make it to the album. So this is like a colorway that didn't quite make it. It's kind of like a dusty gray with a little bit of yellow, some teal, some shots of like purple burgundy color in there, a little bit of brown. I really hope you guys don't hear that dog barking in the background. So the Martine hat, free pattern, super cute. This is the second one I've ever made. I might make some more just because it fits so well. And that was finished object number 2. And then finished object number 3, I really have a 4th and I forgot it downstairs. I'll show it next time now. I made the bear socks. It is a pattern from Barrett Wool Company. I forget the specific name of the designer. I'll put that information down below. But they are these really textured socks. Let me turn this a smidge so maybe you can see the texture on the foot. There we go. So it kind of creates this really cool like X almost. And they're really easy. There's no cable needles involved. And then there's some slip stitches along the side to kind of frame it. And I was going to do longer socks, but since it's starting to get warmer here in El Paso, I like to switch up to doing shorty socks for the warmer months because I'll wear them to the bus stops in the morning. Bus stop in the morning. And so this is knit with US size 0s, 64 stitches. I believe the pattern is only written for 64 stitches. I'm not entirely sure, but it was a really easy pattern. I did have to follow the chart because the texture kind of kept switching 1 or 2 stitches to the left and the right on both sides. So I did have to pay attention to the chart for that. I did an afterthought heel just because it's kind of my go-to heel, that and a Flegel heel. And then I did a really short cuff at the top. So I have myself little shorty socks. This is a one-of-a-kind colorway that I got from Caitlin from the Wool Jewel podcast. It is called Roulette. It's this tweedy base with kind of a brown copper with some purpley orange. I wasn't going to make this into anything that would be close to my face because it is not my season at all. But they make really nice socks. But now I have like 50 grams left. And you can also see that the skeins were different saturations. So you can see this one's significantly lighter than this one. So they're not exactly matching, but, you know, close enough to know that they're a pair of socks, right? So I did forget a finished object downstairs, but I'm not going to go get it because I'm live and I can't pause and then edit it out. So then we're just going to jump into the works in progress. I only have 3 right now, and one is a boring pair of 2 at a time vanilla socks. I'm trying to get through all of the yarn that has been gifted to me over the last couple years with the Get Your Yarn Wishes granted and situations like that. And this yarn was gifted to me in November of 2017. So it was a little over a year old and I kind of forgot that I had it, but I had this Mirasol Hachito and I don't remember the color. And then I did the toes in this Knit Picks Hawthorne in the Goddess colorway. I've knit my Zweig. I've also knit a pair of DK weight boot socks, doubled up with another one. So I only had a 50 gram ball of this yarn. And I got this from Yarn and You when she also sent me a gumball of her Lorax self-striping colorway socks. And this is an 80-20 merino wool nylon mix. And you can see it's highly variegated. I'm getting kind of a little bit of a flashing here. You can see it on both socks. And I'm just pulling from the inside and the outside of the cake. And I'm just going to knit until I run out of yarn. So this is listed as a fingering weight on Ravelry, but I find that it's closer to a sport weight or a very heavy fingering because I'm knitting these on US 1s and only 56 stitches, and they seem a little bit big. So I think I've gotten to about the point where I'm to the arch of my foot. So I'm going to start doing a knit 1, purl 1 rib for the arch part of my foot. So it kind of sucks in the fabric around there to make it fit a little bit tighter. And I think I'm going to do Flegel heels for this. So I do not have to worry about weighing for afterthought, like enough yarn to do an afterthought heel or anything like that. But I'm going to see how much I can get with a 50 gram ball. Since I've done the toes, I should be able to get a decent sized sock, a little bit more than a shorty. But these are mine. I work on them when I go to pre-K pickup or if I'm sitting at the doctor's office. This is my on the go project. And it's inside my Creative Obsession bag that I got from Connie when she sent me a lovely package full of great yarn, which I've knit almost all of it, and this and some needles as well. So that's being housed in there. And I have to reach over to grab my other works in progress because I have started a Boxy sweater, a fingering weight one. And I originally was going to use this yarn to make a different sweater, but I figured the variegation was a little bit too much. It was going to be a little too busy with color work in the yoke. So I decided just to do a plain sweater, and I wanted something that was plain and simple, but not my normal top-down raglan sweater that I usually make. I'm going to take a sip of my water and then continue. Okay. So I cast on this Boxy and I've gotten a lot done. I cast this on last Tuesday. What was that date? 12, 11, 10, the 9th. And I have already gotten to the split for the armholes. I'm knitting this out of Knit Pick Stroll in the sunny afternoon colorway. It was on sale for half off during their Black Friday sale. So I was able to get 4 skeins for gosh, like $27 because it was like $6 and some change per skein. I bought 4 skeins, so I have plenty to make a boxy. I have finished almost 2 skeins. I had to break 1 skein when I did the arm splits, and I'll probably save that for the neckline. And I'm knitting the front and the back 2 at a time. So I'm knitting all the way around and then turning around and purling back using 2 different skeins of yarn because I figured it would be easier to keep track of how many rows I've done except for counting. So 2 at a time is the easiest way for me to keep track of things. So there's a lot of fabric. It's basically like a blanket. So I will show you guys the yarn. I have them in my do-it-yourself cake holders, yarn sleeves. My 5-year-old had this like stretchy air, like sweat wicking fabric. What 5-year-old needs that? But he never wears it because he doesn't like the texture of this kind of fabric here. So I took the sleeves, I cut the whole sleeve off, and then I cut the sleeve in half, and it fits these cakes of yarn perfectly. So I have 4 homemade yarn sleeves. So I just used pinking shears. I didn't even bother sewing them. They haven't frayed yet, and I don't think I have to. And then this is just the bottom of the sleeve here. But this is the colorway. It is like yellows. It's showing up really bright. Yeah, still showing up really bright. So the yellows are a little bit lighter. They're not as like neon as they look on the screen. And a little bit of blue, gray, and kind of like an off-white creamy yellow color. So I'm on both of these right now. Like I said, I'm knitting. I've already split for the armholes. I think I've only done 11 rows, but holy moly, I'm going to hold it up from the bottom. So I'm holding the cuff. It's like a blanket, but it's going to be such a cozy sweater. I do have some pooling when I did the ribbing because I didn't bother alternating skeins there, but I'm doing the helical knitting where you slip the 3 stitches. I'll link that tutorial that I followed down below. And it's nice because you don't get this seam when you're alternating your skeins. You're just slipping the three stitches. And so basically your beginning of round where you're switching the skeins moves back 3 stitches every single round. So I had almost gotten all the way around the sweater before I had to split for the sleeves. But I didn't quite make it. It was a little short. But, whew, so much knitting, you guys. And I've really worked on knitting without looking. So I think I've really mastered it. I don't really see a whole lot of striping, maybe just a little bit with the grays, kind of how they pool together. So I still have maybe 3.5 inches left to go before I do the shaping for the front and the back, do the bind off to do the top, and then I have to do the sleeves. But the sleeves are like that long. Excuse me, they won't take very long. I got the majority of it done already. So I'm really excited to finish this and have it as a fall time sweater in Georgia when we get there. So that's garment number 1 that's on the needles. Garment number 2, I wanted to do a single colored Zweig on top and fade it to a solid color on the bottom. So let me find, got to go through all my stuff. I've only done a couple rows on the yoke, and I'm doing this with an Evil Little Goat colorway. This is a wool nylon blend in the colorway Danny Boy. So it's like this royal blue with a little bit lighter blue, some teals, a little bit shots of red, some green. So there's a lot of colors in here, and it actually distributes really well. I haven't had to alternate the inside and outside of the cake. And I did the collar in a Knit Pick Stroll in, I think it's Midnight Heather. I did a hat out of it, and I still have a 50-gram cake. So I'm going to do the collar and the sleeves because it's going to be short sleeve. I don't have enough to make a long sleeve sweater. Plus, I'm also thinking about how hot it is in Georgia. So I haven't done a whole lot on this sweater. I was hoping to get more done, but I would always take priority to do my boxy sweater instead, because this one I'm on the lace and it requires thinking, but the colorway looks really cool and it's distributing really well on the sweater. I'm really liking it so far. And then I'm going to fade it into just some navy blue Knit Pick Stroll. So it's going to be a solid color from like right below the bust line down. And then it'll be short sleeve. And I'm hoping it will look as cute as it does in my head. I'm just trying to use up my stash and trying to get as many garments as I can because I know I'm going to wear the garments, especially the fingering weight ones. I don't know how much I'm going to wear my worsted weight sweaters in Georgia. I think it's only cold like 2 months out of the year. Not looking forward to the switch from intense heat to like intense heat plus humidity. So I'm working on that. It's, I haven't worked on it in a couple of days, so I think I might pull it out. Maybe when I get my Boxy done. I don't know. This one I would think I would be a lot farther on because I'm usually one of those knitters that want to get through the chart as quickly as possible and get it done. And this one I did maybe like 7 rows out of the chart, and I think there's 30 something rows, and I would want to just race through just to get the chart done. But then it's just going to be more stockinette knitting like my Boxy sweater. So that's on the needles, and that is all I have for works in progress, except for I did a swatch. I've been wanting to do the Augusta cardigan in my Interweave 100 Knits book, but I didn't want to do the cabled center. I wanted to do a lace center panel on the back side of the cardigan. So I did a little swatch, little swatcheroo, and I already messed it up like on the first one, but I didn't want to rip it back. So this is what I've got so far. I'll put it up against here. So this is a fishtail lace pattern, and I did a very simple right twist, left twist border on the outside. I think I'm going to add some more pearls on the outside of the twist and on the inside. But on the pattern, it says that panel needs to be 7.5 inches. So I don't need as many stitches as the cable calls for because cables suck fabric in this way, whereas lace is going to block out this way. So I think I'm going to add another purl stitch on both sides of the, let me see. Can I hold it up here and you guys can see it? I'm trying to think of what I can hold it up against so you guys can see it. Nope, wrong way. Nope, not helpful. So yeah, okay. If I hold it this way, you guys can see. So I think this will work really well for the panel. But then I was thinking, I was washing all my sweaters the other day and I washed my weekender sweater. What if I just make another weekender sweater? I need a cardigan. I only have one cardigan and I have a feeling I'm going to wear that more than I would wear a pullover in Georgia. Comment down below. Like, it's hot and humid in Georgia. That's the farthest south I've ever lived. I grew up in Chesapeake, Virginia, and I went to college in Greenville, North Carolina. So I've never lived as far south as Georgia. And so I don't know exactly what the winters look like. Or yeah, what the winters look like. So I don't know if I'm going to wear, I would probably wear a cardigan more. But I also think I'm going to do this on a pair of socks. And maybe instead of the right twist, left twist, just to do a slip stitch ribbing on the sides. I haven't decided, but I really like this fishtail lace because it looks like mermaid fins. And it was really simple. In my book that I got it out of, it was written. And so all I have to do, I just charted it out, and then I would just have to figure out what to do on the borders. But wouldn't that make some cute socks too? I have some yarn already picked out that I think I would make it. So I think I might make the socks first and then decide on the sweater because we're moving in 2 months and I've got to get stuff packed up. I'm almost done washing all of my knitwear and getting it stored into Ziploc bags. And then it'll be ready to go. It'll be saved from the critters while we move. But okay, so down below, pullover or cardigan. It's going to be like a cocoon cardigan with like a big shawl collar, like tight sleeves, but like bat wings sort of sleeve, or pullover. I'm leaning towards cardigan. I can always buy more patterns wool worsted from Joanne or Michaels. Okay, so that's all I have works in progress. I need one more opinion. I have a workshop with Alexandra Davidoff next week, and we are doing the I Am Dragon shawl necklace. It's not really big enough to be a shawl, like a full shawl, but it's kind of more like a neck piece. But I can't decide what yarn I want to. When I went to Tempeh Yarn, I picked up these kind of like multicolored beads. It's kind of hard to see, but it's like a mixture of bluish, purple, greenish beads. So there's some that look more green than purple. So I might need to separate, but I need 150 beads for the project. And the yarn I originally chose was this, Malabrigo yarn. I think it's in Plomo. Malabrigo sock. And it's kind of just like in this purpley gray color. And I don't know if these go with it or not. If I did, I would probably pick out all of the purpley gray, purpley blue ones. I don't know. I feel like they don't quite match, but I can't decide. But then I also remembered I have this Malabrigo Arroyo. I forget. I think it's Aguas colorway. It's like this greenish purple or greenish blue. It's showing up much more blue on the screen. It is a lot more green in person. But I think if I were to do this one, I would want to pull out as many of the green beads as I could. So I don't know if I would have enough green. There's 300 beads in here. So I would be risking, you know, half and half. So I don't know which one I want to do. So these are the two colors that I have. Actually, that's pretty good representation of what they look like. And then let's see if I can do this. That's not really helpful, is it? I don't know, you guys. Or do I just go to Joann and see if I can find different beads? I really would like to work with what I already have since I bought these. I'm kind of leaning towards this because this yarn is the oldest yarn I've had in my stash, and I have knit 2 things out of it and ripped them both out. So I have about maybe like 1 3/4 skeins of this Arroyo. So I would get a larger shawl out of it. I could find as many of the green beads as I could find. And then whatever's left, if I don't have 150 of them, I don't know, it's so hard to tell if it's a good mix or not. If I don't have 150 of them, just kind of sprinkle in a couple of the purpley blue ones. So I don't know. So do I go with Aguas or Plomo? I don't know. If I don't love it, then I can just gift it, right? That's what I'm kind of doing at this point. And we're supposed to pre-string them onto the yarn, but I think I might do the crochet hook method and just bring a bowl. Although I don't want to offend the designer by changing the way she wants to do it. And I mean, I probably could string them on before I start if it's really not going to work out to use the crochet hook. I don't know. I'm a really indecisive person and I can't make up my mind on what to do. I have also acquired a couple cross stitch things from a friend. The one that I gifted the socks to, her mother-in-law is a crafter. So she has lots of yarn. She's a cross stitcher. She embroiders, she crochets, she does a lot of stuff. And so she had a lot of these kits and she offered me to take them because she bought them. And, you know, just like we all do, we kind of hoard things and don't change our mind about projects, decide not to do them. So she pulled out this tub of stuff and she pulled out some things asking if I wanted one. So I found this really cool wizard one. I thought it was kind of fun. And it has all of the materials in it. So all the thread, the cloth. I don't know if there's a needle in there or not. Oh, there is a needle and easy instructions according to that. So she gave me that. And then I told her I like to make the ornaments that you can hang on your Christmas tree. And so she gave me this Santa kit with all these different Santa-y things on it. So again, comes with all of the things that you need, so I don't have to go shopping. Fantastic, right? And then I said that my mother-in-law really likes snowmen, so she found this book, and she gave me this book with all these really cool snowman charts on it. So I might make something else for my mother-in-law for Christmas, maybe one of the smaller ones, because some of these are really big. The one that's on the back is, you know, fairly small. I might make that one. And then the front one's snowman with a bird. Is a cute one. So I do have to buy my materials for that one. But she gave me those. She was so sweet. So So I really appreciate, crafters that like to gift. And then I have plans for one project that I still need to buy one skein of yarn. I'm going to wait to buy until I can buy like a sweater's quantity of stuff to make a different sweater. But I'm going to make a neon Vertices Unite by Stephen West. I still have to buy the pattern. If anybody wants to gift me the pattern, not saying anything. Just kidding. You don't have to. But I've had all this yarn in my stash. 3 of these things of yarn I bought last year at our workshop that we did with the Knitting Fairy. And that was these 3 lines right here. It's Safroni Skeins, lay lines. It's 75% merino, 25% nylon in these 3 colors. So I'm pretty sure these are inspired by Zootopia and Magic School Bus, because this one is Major General Toot Toot, which is like a blue-purple skein. This is Frizzle's Liz, which I am assuming is, gosh, it's so bright. I got all my sunlight back now, but now everything's being blown out. So it's this bright green, and then this one's Call Me Carrots, so orange, obviously. So I'm pretty sure these are from Zootopia, and this is Magic School Bus. And then my highlighter yellow, which I had 0 clue of what I was going to make with, is now, do you guys see this gray hair just sticking out right here? This is Tempe Yarns hand dyed. This is 80/20, so a slightly different base, but still, merino and nylon mixed together. And this is, I don't think there's a colorway on it. It's just highlighter yellow. So I still need to buy one more color, and I'm going to buy a bright blue, similar to, let's see if I can find an example without pulling down. I think there was one on my blanket. No, not like poolside. There was a good color of Knit Pick Stroll hand painted that was like a bright blue. It wasn't the frozen colorway. It was a slightly darker colorway that I think would complement these really well. So I'm just going to make a really bright ass Vertices Unite, and I am ridiculously excited about it. Just have to, get the pattern and buy the last skein of yarn. So I have that in mind. And then I have a colorwork sweater, my Anasha sweater that I originally was going to make with that yellow hand painted, but the variegation was just too busy. I'm going to do that one. And then I would like to make a lightweight cardigan for Georgia, but I haven't decided what yarn I want to use yet. Phew. Well, that's all the yarny talk, all my projects that I've done or that I'm going to work on soon. And then life in general, we are prepping to still move around the same time. I am working on finding a job in Columbus. I think they just sent out their letters of intent to the teachers in the county, so they haven't gotten back who's coming back and stuff. I've started the process of getting my Georgia license. I have to get some things notarized and copied and sent in. Luckily, it's all online, so I don't have to mail everything in, which is amazing. I had to mail everything in for Virginia, and that was such a pain in the butt. And then Levi turned 8. I cannot believe I have an 8-year-old. It's bananas. He had soccer in the morning, and Oliver unfortunately was sick, so we didn't really do much, but we got to watch a movie. We made cake. He got to open his presents. He got some really cool presents. He got like a STEM circuit maze game where you have like little challenge cards. You have to set it up and then figure out how to complete the circuit to light up some lights. He really enjoys that. He got some walkie-talkies to use for when we move. So one can be in one car and the other can be with him. And some clothing, some pajamas. And then we went to Dave & Buster's on Sunday and played video games and had fun, got some new stuffed animals, and then just getting over this stomach bug and then getting things done now that I have some time by myself at home, which has been fantastic. So I'm going to get some more stuff done today, and then we're going to hunker down or bunker down. What's the word? I don't even know. So we're going to stay inside because the wind advisory is until later on tonight, and get through life one day at a time. Slowly cross things off my to-do list. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll leave you guys with that. I hope I kept it short and sweet. It was nice to see you guys again, and hopefully I'll see you guys sooner than the next 3 weeks. Keep knitting, keep your needles moving. I hope you guys are staying cool or warm, depending on where you're living. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.